Hello and welcome to another episode of the I Heart Women podcast. And today we're going to talk about something that plagues and scares all women. The F word. Not that F word, finance. Hi Sangha.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming on the I Heart Women podcast. And I know I very lazily say this is why this episode is needed, that you work in finance, but you want to tell the audience what you actually do?
So a little bit about myself. I'm pretty much semi-retired now.
Yeah.
And been a banker for the first 15 years. And then set up my own finance company. And then I advise a couple of families on their finance now. And I actually have taken up a full-time hobby, if you must know, which is basically painting. So yeah, so that is my full-time thing, and then I do a part-time thing on my finance work.
So, why am I so scared of money? Me and droves of other women. What's the hesitancy that women have around finance, money, wealth?
Well, so I think it stems from a lot of, conditioning that one grows up with, where, if you see, through our, entire growth as a human race, it's always been that the man is the breadwinner, and the woman has to take care of the house. And whether you go to Eastern cultures or Western, that has pretty much been the norm in terms of raising children. So when you're conditioned like that, then you think that, I have to just make sure that the house is safe and secure, whereas rest of the things is the man's job.
Yeah.
But that has been broken over the last few decades, and now I think with more and more opportunities that are coming to the fore, where a mother can also balance her work as well as take care of the home, it's becoming a more prominent way of doing things for for women. And being scared, I think it's just a mind block, like when you have maths in school. Some people like maths, some people don't like maths.
That's so simple.
And so it's like that. So there is nothing to be unnerved about. But funnily, there are two ways to look at money. One is saving, the other is investing. More often than not,
splurging. The third is me.
And many a times what happens is we combine the two, but they are different things.
Yeah.
And as a part of a woman's core nature, saving is inherent. Whether you look at your grandmother putting in bundles of cash away in in the cupboards between the saris, or collecting those change coins in a box, or investing in gold, which has been a very traditional approach for Indian women. And then when there was a crisis, or basically saving for the rainy day, and that comes very naturally to women even now. Like if there is a certain budget given for the household expense for the homemakers, there will be a little bit that will be tucked away, but that does not get invested.
Correct.
So that money is actually not
working for them.
So which is why I said saving and investing are two different things. So you're saving, but are you investing it? So that is the thing that women need to ask themselves and start working towards that. Now, whether you invest in traditional fixed deposit, or you do a systematic investment plan through mutual funds, or you buy gold, it does not matter, as long as you invest and don't keep it in your savings bank account or in your cupboard. So that's the biggest difference, I think, that will start to make a difference in the way you start thinking about money and not get scared about it.
So I actually I read this thing, and it's quite an interesting career where it really boils down to, and I've come to not loathe that word, but I just feel like it's just loosely used for anything, is manifestation. And there are actual finance coaches that kind of reprogram your mindset. And most of their clients are women, because there is so much hesitancy. So, and I feel like women are just not comfortable, where they feel like, okay, they're not somebody that is traditionally, known to manage so much money or earn so much money. So maybe that's where the hesitancy kind of comes from.
So I wouldn't generalize women as one whole class of people.
Yeah.
Because women come from different financial backgrounds, different educational backgrounds, different ethnicities, races. So it all depends on, what is the exposure you're getting vis-a-vis, what your approach is.
Right.
And that would be like, a very broad-based statement to make.
Yeah.
If you look at the urban woman today, where because of inflation or lifestyle choices, more and more double income families are coming to the fore, right? And the companies or the employers are working towards making the environment a lot more flexible for the woman once she has a baby and becomes a mother.
Yeah.
Because then, that is where the challenge used to be, and it still is,
Yeah.
where women are giving up their careers or their jobs or whatever they do, helping out businesses in whatever format they were working.
Yeah.
They give that up because you need so much time for raising the family. But with all this, the internet connectivity, the kind of work that is coming up, it's changing quite a bit. And then the other thing also, Sanjana, what happens is, see, there are very high profile jobs that women are running.
Yeah.
So for them, it's not really that much of a challenge. But yes, looking at personal finance takes a backseat because of the way your life is happening. But
Correct.
It's not that generally women are not doing it.
Right.
It's like,
yeah,
whether you're getting the opportunity or you're not getting.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, the AI and the other life coaches, and so we are getting life coaches in every part of our life today.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people and there is so much of specialization that is happening. Because there is so much of information flow.
Right.
Whether it is a hobby you're picking up, whether you're tracking any sport activity, whether it's a fitness activity, whether it's your diet, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There are coaches for everything.
Correct.
And there is accessibility.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that is there. However, to change your own wiring, whether it is, take for example any fitness goal that you set up.
Yeah.
You have to rewire yourself if you're not a pro exercise person.
Yeah.
To get onto that bandwagon.
Yeah.
Similarly, financial health, which is why we say that financial health.
Yeah.
It is used like the
Yeah.
term is used over there.
Yeah.
Similarly, because there has to be a goal-oriented approach to it.
So what would you say are the challenges when it comes to financial planning for women? Like what would you say overall?
So one is the first thing that I mentioned to you was differentiating between saving and investing.
Yeah.
That is rule number one.
Yeah.
Because traditionally you don't invest.
Yeah.
You save. These are two different things.
Correct.
Secondly, one has to understand that because women mostly run the expenses in the house, they are aware that there is inflation that is happening, right? So to understand that what you are getting today is not going to be enough,
Yeah.
a few years down the
Yeah.
line, they understand it because everything is costing more. So you may not get the whole technical aspect of it, but it is going to cost you more.
Correct.
As simple as
Yeah.
that, right? So then you have to understand that when the money is earning for itself, that whole compounding effect that comes in is tremendous.
Yeah.
So starting early, investing instead of saving,
Yeah.
and then to look at any mentors or you can just go to an advisor.
Yeah.
One doesn't really have to become a pro themselves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just these basic things, that's about it. And so the other thing is, whether you are taking out from your expenses or it's from your income, whatever it is, one needs to understand. So saving versus investment, understanding inflation and compounding. And the third thing I would say is that you need to know your expenses as well as your income. That is
Yeah.
a very, very important thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
and starting early.
So I want to then move on to my next question for women who are working, like who have jobs, like corporate jobs. I've realized as a parent, I don't want to say working mother because all mothers are working mothers. But so, there is the very obvious not even the elephant in the room, the elephant in the economy is the gender wage gap. So women are predominantly earning a lot less than men, but living longer than men. How do you then build a corpus of funds knowing that you're that much lower on the ladder?
Well, okay, you've put the whole question together very interestingly. Now, the gender gap, pay gap that is there across industries or across this thing is applicable to maybe a lot of women, but not all women.
Yeah.
Okay, because there are sectors where women have risen to the top and are making a lot more than their male counterparts, right?
Yeah.
And similarly, the lifestyle choices or whatever, health-wise, genetic build, how you're built genetically. Women tend to live. These are statistics, right, Sanjana? Now, it's not that one size fits all. Like I said, women come from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different cultures, different races. So they have very different approaches, right? And similarly, so it won't be right to say that how do you take care of the pay parity or the longevity of life, because they are not connected, honestly speaking. You have to invest to live well today. Whether you are living longer or lesser, it is not the criteria. And when you have and gender pay parity is a different topic altogether, where there are skill based jobs where the pay parity is reducing, I would say. The biggest hurdle I feel women face is when they start a family.
Absolutely.
And more, companies are becoming a lot more conscientious of that, giving them a lot more leeway, and like, I mean, the
being flexible and creating
the Labor
a more
Act itself is
environment,
changed, right? There is a mandatory 6-month leave now, and so on and so forth. So, and there are various forums where one can, really mingle and get to know as to what is going on. So if one is feeling that you're not getting what your male counterpart is getting, there are enough forums on which you can sing. The HR is constituted predominantly with more women, if you've noticed. So then that becomes a huge space for you to voice your thing. And I think it's all about letting yourself know that, or be known that yes, this is the challenge I'm facing, and then you'll have so many options available, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure as a mother, if you don't know what is this thing happening to your child, you write on that forum and you get 10 options, that right? So similarly, if there is something happening because somebody else has already faced it or is facing it, and there is a lot more options that you will get in terms of solutions and advice that maybe you are not able to think of. So I think that will reduce as we go along. And living longer, I think is like I said, you have to make sure that you have enough money to be taken care of. Which is whether you're investing, whether you are being given the money or whatever it is, one has to have a plan. That has to be there.
So if I were to ask you, say, then looking at women who are financially dependent, not independent, what would be your advice to them in terms of investing? And
so see, with financial independence, it's a different ballgame altogether, where you are earning your own money, but you're also contributing towards your family expenses and all of that. And then, yes, you have a larger say because you are economically independent and you can make various decisions completely on your own. When it comes to economically dependent women or financially dependent women, it does not matter, because there is a whole lot of expense that is under your control. Number one, you are spending money on yourself. It's not that you're not getting that. You get gifts. Jewelry is a big gifting thing that happens, whether it's weddings or your festivals, birthdays, whatever. So just think little differently. Do I want that other bracelet, or I'd rather buy a gold coin? So simple choices like that, instead of because gold as an asset class is a very good investment, but how you invest it is important.
Yeah.
If you're buying jewelry, it is not going to give you the same appreciation that a gold coin will, or a gold fund will, you know.
Yeah.
So these are the choices that one needs to make. And like I said, if you are mingling with more and more people in your similar setup, you will get to know of these options.
Yeah.
And also, if you connect with an advisor, it could be your bank manager, it could be a friend who's working, it could be anybody, or somebody who's managing their money a little better,
yeah,
or be part of these forums. It's
yeah,
extremely good. And financially dependent women also can start doing something on their own, you know,
right,
because everybody has some capability or the other.
Yeah.
So if you try to monetize whatever is your skill set,
yeah,
there are enough and more options that the government gives in terms of getting very easy loans for women, various tax breaks that you get if you are a woman entrepreneur, the kind of exposure that you can get into, because there are some industries which are earmarked only for women. So you see the whole balancing that is trying to happen because of that whole. Now, if you were to connect the gender parity in terms of this thing, and then this, so I think then once you start making that money also, it takes time, but once you start getting there, then that money is also available to you for you to invest. Right? And even starting small, Sanjana, I'll tell you, if you just cut down, break up your expenses. Yeah, and you see that, okay, these are the expenses that I'm doing. Maybe I can push this. Maybe I don't really need this. You know, it also goes towards saving, and saving that money, you invest.
Correct.
Right? Because everybody's getting a budget to work for their house. You save a little from that. You are already saving. It's like an inborn thing in a woman, you know. You know, if there is an X amount, you will save a bit from that. Instead of just saving it, just invest that. You know, and then just tweak your jewelry, tweak your this thing. So small things go a long way.
So, you know, I've actually I talk to a lot of women who, my friends or colleagues, and while it is getting better, I feel like there is still a majority of them who do not have a sense of where their money is going.
True.
Planner se bola itna invest karna hai, isme karna hai, theek hai, that's fine. But if, supposing I wanted to take control, what were the resources that you would suggest? Like simple resources for women to start understanding where their money is going.
So there are a lot of, chat classrooms where the basics are taught. Simple YouTube, channels which are there. There are women finance advisors who keep writing from time to time in ET, Mint, etc. Money Control is a very good, website where you get a whole lot of information. And then, like I said, you know, there is forums like Stand Up India, World Business Women's Forum, all of that. Okay, so once you, because today everybody has a smartphone. Whether you're working, not working, whether you are, a stay-at-home mom, whatever it is, and the access to information that you can get from that is immense. And you can start with the basics. And along with that, I would say you get a mentor, because everybody knows somebody, in the family or in your friend circle who is a little bit, more knowledgeable than you are. Get the mentor, and getting an advisor always helps. Does not matter which category, whether it's your bank account, whether it's a private advisor, whether it's depending on wherever you are. Open a savings bank account. A lot of women, you'll be surprised, don't even have a savings bank account in their own name.
What do they don't have a bank account in their name? It'll be a joint account, you're saying?
Not even a joint account. Everything is in a male member's name, or in, whosoever's name, and the money just comes to them. So first and foremost, open a bank account. A lot of women, you will find, don't even have a bank account in their name. Whether you are working in a business house which is run by a family business head, or you are not financially independent. So opening a bank account and seeing that money in your name it's like a validation of sorts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then that money, once you start investing, whether you are starting with a recurring deposit or a systematic investment plan, whatever it is, these small steps make you feel a lot more confident, a lot more able to do things, and it just opens up different avenues, because then you'll start mingling with people. You will go to the bank, you will ask your manager will recommend something, then you will meet somebody who's doing something. It just one thing leads to another, and that is how the exposure happens. And if somebody really wants to get into the thick of things, there are enough and more YouTube channels which will guide you on that. Then you have enough channels like Money Control, etc., which are really brilliant in terms of giving you the basics and fundamental stuff. ET has an ET in classroom kind of a section where a lot of basics are covered, understanding the words and all that. But what happens is, like Sanjana, sorry for taking back the same comparison with maths. It gets a little mind-boggling, because I've seen it with my friends. I've seen it.
Of course, it does. It happens with me. I have
students in my school where there is this whole aversion. And I feel it's more that you are feeling mentally. So it's I'm going to take that same comparison again with maths, where everybody gets a little, not everybody, I mean most girls in my class at least used to get very scared of it, like no, I don't want to do maths. Is there an option for me to give up maths? And all of that. But if you break it down, or if you get a good teacher or a mentor, it just makes it very exciting. So it's all about finding that person, or finding that channel, or
the right
reading
fit.
up. And then if you will just go through the basics, and if you don't want to, just find a good advisor. Like it's like getting the right doctor or the right lawyer, right? You don't have to know everything that is going on medically with you. You find the right guy, so that there is that confidence, and he treats you for whatever ailments you have. Similarly, you find a financial doctor. So there are a couple of courses, a few courses rather, that take you through the whole basics of finance and understanding it and all of that. In fact, mutual funds run these customer awareness programs from time to time, and some of them are focusing on women, especially, so that they understand it better, they go down to the complete basics and all of it. So if somebody really wants to take it up, you can just understand the basics and then take it to as advanced as you want to be. So I would say just getting that mentor or that friend or somebody to start off with, so that you can be handheld and get into this whole easy world of finance.
So if I were to ask you really, like, say, one line explainer of the following mutual funds.
It's an investment where you don't have to think. As an investor. All the thinking is done by the fund manager.
SIP.
It's like a recurring investment.
Recurring deposit.
It's a bank deposit which is recurring.
Fixed deposit.
It's money that you put away for a certain amount of time that you don't need the money for.
Buying gold
is a very traditionally safe investment, but form is important.
Gold bond.
It's one of the options that you have while investing in gold.
And last and the most important question, your top 5 tips. I know you said that at the start as well, but your top 5 tips to women who, or like must-dos for investing or just wealth management or making your money work for you.
So first and foremost, like I said, saving versus investing. You have to differentiate. Second is understand your expenses and your income. Thirdly, have small goals, whether it's time based or event based, whatever it is.
So just give me an example of what would that look like.
Say you want to take a holiday. You want to also contribute to your child's education. You want to buy something fancy for yourself. Anything. anything, or longer term, nest egg.
Yeah.
Retirement planning for women who are working and are in very high paying whatever, because you want to hang your boots at some point. So these kind of goals help.
Okay. And what are, say, like the mistakes that you see a lot of women making when it comes to financial planning?
The first thing, once they have reached this stage, mistakes would be trying to make your money work faster.
Yeah.
There is no get rich quick scheme ever.
Sorry.
So there is, so you have to be patient, you have to see the effect of compounding, and that is where, once you are investing for 3-5 years, you yourself will see that, the money works well.
Yeah. So you have to be patient.
Patient. So these tip-based investments, or, regular casual dinner table conversation, I have invested in this, you must invest.
Yeah.
You don't know all the details.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know how many times that person has lost money.
Yeah.
And then made money in this one. There are a lot of information that you don't have.
Yeah.
So the biggest mistakes I see are these.
Yeah.
That everybody wants to turn their investments 10 times very quickly. Doesn't happen. And listening to all these, I wouldn't say unqualified, but pretty much, not qualified investment tips.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Sure.
I don't feel as scared, as fearful, and definitely not as lost anymore. So thanks again.
Thank you for having me, Sanjana.
Thank you.